Hey, what's up guys? This is Ravon from Area 45 Fitness, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about nutrition and some diets, alright? So I'm going to give you guys some tips, what I think works, what I think doesn't work, but let's go back to, what a diet is. A diet is typically something that someone wants to either lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight, okay? And by doing that, they're going to eat to a certain calorie amount or eat less than a calorie amount or eat more than a calorie amount to get to a specific amount. So no matter what you do, based on science, okay, this is based off of science, okay, and this is 100%. If you eat less than what your daily intake is, okay, you're going to lose weight, okay? Say your total daily energy expenditure is 2,500, okay? And you eat on a day-to-day basis, you're eating 1,500 calories. You have 1,000 calories of a deficit, okay? So typically, okay, depending on each body, is always going to be different. So typically we would say for every 3,500 calories, you're going to burn about a pound of fat, okay? So if you're eating under that, and in 3 days, that's 3,000 calories. So typically on 3.5 days, you're going to burn a pound of fat, okay? Which is perfect because you shouldn't be burning more than 2 to 3 pounds a week. And if you are, it might be some water weight or you're doing a little too much. I think you should be burning 2 to 3 pounds. That's going to be the proper way to lose weight and keep it off. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a couple diets, right? I think the one diet I really want to talk about, and it's called the keto diet, because I get asked about this all the time. What do I think about the keto diet? All right, so the keto diet, does it work? 100%. Every diet can work, right? If you want it to work. Now, is it realistic? That's the question. How long can you go for without having carbs? That's going to be the question. That's going to be something the question that needs to be answered. Is it sustainable? I don't think it's sustainable. That's why I'm indifferent about the keto diet. I know it works. I just know that it's not sustainable because you can't do it for longer than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. And if you can do it, that means you're very disciplined. And if you are very disciplined, there's other things that you can do that are a little bit better. Just basically counting your macros is going to be much better. Regardless, at the end of the day, you're counting your macros is probably going to be the best thing that you could do. Now, what works for me, right? And I want to go back to just diets in general. I think when we go out and say I'm on a diet, that's the most short-term thing you're gonna do, and that's not a lifestyle change. There's no such thing as a diet becoming a lifestyle change because at some point you're gonna stop doing it. I don't care how long it takes. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. You're not doing something forever, right? I mean, some people might. That's the small, very, very, very small amount of people out there that can probably do that. I'm going to say about 95% of people give up on a diet somehow, some way. I don't care when it is, they give up on it and they do something else, right? Now, if you're going to do something, I suggest that you do it and make it more of a lifestyle change. And there's only one thing that can really see that actually is out there that could be a lifestyle change, right? And to me, it's really changed my life, and I know I can do this forever, and it's intermittent fasting. And why I believe intermittent fasting works so well. One, it burns by 20-fold, so there's no other diet that burns by that much, right? So that's a cool thing. Two, it's time-based, right? Yes, you should, your macros should matter, but it's also time-based, right? And that's probably the best thing out there. So for me, I typically eat around like 2 o'clock, and I stop eating around 8, 9 o'clock-ish is when I stop eating. Sometimes I'll splurge. I go to 10 o'clock, and I'll usually use that 8-hour window. It took me a few weeks to get there, but once I got there, I was fine. Do I get hungry in the morning? Once in a blue moon, I do. I can just slam a bottle of water down, and I'm not really thinking about it anymore. And then I just start. I don't eat until about 2. Yeah, I wake up very early in the morning. I wake up at 4:45 in the morning, and I don't go to bed until about 12 o'clock at night. So it is very challenging in that sense sometimes, but it's very doable, and it's something that I plan on doing for the rest of my life. This is something I always want to do because one, I'm still losing body fat. Okay, I've lost the weight that I've wanted to lose. I look a lot leaner. I feel so much better than I've ever felt before. Now I have more energy than I've ever felt. I always felt so sluggish and tired. Even if I was eating, chicken breast, a carb and a veggie, and I was doing this, 5 times a day, and I was getting to my macros and eating my little snacks in between, having my little almonds, having my my yogurt, my non-fat Greek yogurt, or whatever it is that I wanted, cottage cheese, whatever type of thing that I'm having in between that, and my little protein shake. Awesome, great, it works. But I always felt sluggish. Still, at the end of the day, I always felt that I was tired. I didn't have the energy that I want to have. And honestly, until I changed to this intermittent fasting, that's when I really started. I felt like my energy levels are there. I don't need more than that. Sure, I take a little bit of aminos, but at the end, I've always taken aminos. And this has changed me completely. I say, personally, I say you try the intermittent fasting to see how that works. Don't make excuses about, I can't because I wake up early in the morning, or I can't because I do this or do that. Just try it. See how it works. And then at some point, work your way into it. And if your window for eating is smaller, the better. The smaller window, the better it is, right? Just make sure you're having a good amount of calories, though. Just because you're intermittent fasting doesn't mean you only want to eat 500 calories. You don't want to do that at all. You still want to get to your daily intake. Say your daily intake is 1,800 calories, right? And if you want to eat at a deficit, I would eat at a little bit of a deficit. If you're trying to lose weight, go to 1,500 calories, go to 1,400 calories, and keep it around there, right? Make sure your protein intake is really high. And you know what good and bad foods are. That's another thing that I really want to get into, is that we all know what's good and we all know what's bad. But we want to hear it from other people, again, 100 times. I mean, I get asked this all the time. I'm like, everybody knows what it is. We all know what's good foods and what's bad foods. We all know. There's not one of us that don't know this. We know what's healthy and what's not healthy. So stick to your healthier foods. That's all I would say. Just know what to do. If you're trying to calorie count, there's a few apps out there. You can do MyFitnessPal, Eat This Much. There's another thing called Lose It. That's another cool one. Those are 3 of the ones that I usually recommend to people, just because you can find what you're doing. And if you're looking to get your macros done, hit me up. I'll do your macros for you. Depending on how in depth you want to go with it, just let me know what you're trying to do. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. But macros are very important, just to give you an idea of what you should be eating a day, right? So if you do mess up, and that's the cool thing I think about intermittent fasting. If you do mess up and you slip up and you eat pizza, right? It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to affect you. If you eat whatever it is that you're going to eat, your favorite foods, you have candy, you have chocolate, it's not going to break your diet. You're not breaking your diet because this is a part of it. This is the part of the intermittent fasting. So it's basically telling you can eat whatever you want in that window, right? And you'll still be able to lose weight and burn body fat. And that's true. Actually, one guy that does it really, really well, his name is Blake. He does it extremely well. He has his own diet called the Blake diet, and he basically goes OMAD. It's typically 1 meal a day, but he brings his calorie intake to that to like 3,500 calories, 4,000 calories a meal, sometimes even more. And you're like, whoa, what the hell is he doing? But he does cook it himself. So he is going to use leaner meats. Like, for example, he's not going to probably use 80-20 meat. He's probably going to use 90-10 meat. So he knows what he's doing. I heard he's really good at cooking his meals. So if you're going to do that yourself, you're more than welcome to do that. It's awesome. But he also works out as well, so he burns the calories that he takes out. He went from being bigger to breaking it down and getting a six-pack, and he's changed a lot of people's lives, so I commend him on that. So if you're trying to do the keto diet, you want to do it, but it's not going to burn more than the intermittent fasting. You're burning at 4 folds with the keto diet, and you're burning at 20 folds with this diet, so with the intermittent fasting. So how does intermittent fasting work? Let me explain. It's very simple. So the way it works is that you would typically eat for an 8-hour window, but there's a lot of different ways of doing this. You would typically eat for about an 8-hour window, and you would fast. Your body would fast for about 16 hours, okay? And how does this work? What does it do? So your body has something called glycogen, and it's stored into your liver. So every time you eat something, right, whatever type of food that you have, your glycogen gets stored into your liver, okay? And then you start using that for energy, okay? Now, the point of fasting, so when you're fasting, when you get to about 10 to 12 hours into your fast, your body starts, your body is depleted from that glycogen, and now it needs something for energy. So what does it do? It goes to your stored fat that's running through your bloodstream, okay, and then it goes into your liver, okay, and then you're literally burning fat as you're burning energy. So if you're working out, if you're moving, whatever you're doing, you're burning actual fat, and that's why it works so well. Now, does the and it puts your body into a state of ketosis. Now, does the keto diet do that? Sure, it absolutely does that too, but it does it at 4-fold. It doesn't do it up to 20-fold, so it does it at 4-fold. And by doing it, so what happens is that when you're on a keto diet, you're typically eating healthier fatty foods like avocado, fatty fish, and your carbs are very, very, very low. I mean, sometimes people have 0 carbs, or some people have up to 10 carbs or 20 carbs. I think the most people would say up to, I think it's like 25 or 30 carbs that you should have if you're doing the keto diet, because your body's being put into ketosis, and that's when you're burning the most amount of weight. At that point, you're burning actual fat. So that's why it works so well. So the keto diet does work, but it's much harder. It's not sustainable. That's what my problem is with the keto diet. It's not that it doesn't work, okay? It's just that it's not realistic. It's not something that changes your life forever. See, that's what I feel like needs to happen for when you're talking about a diet or something that's life-changing. I always talk about, everybody always talks about, wanting to do something to change their life. This is the thing to change your life, is intermittent fasting. This is the easiest thing that you can do to change your life, and it's a lot easier to do, okay? A lot easier, and it's the best thing to do to change your life, and it's the most realistic thing. That's how I feel about it. But if you have any questions about this at all, please let me know. Again, hit me up, DM me, however you want to do it, and we'll talk more about it. Other than that, have a great day, have a blessed day, and stay healthy. And I'll talk to you guys next time.